So now that you are like really Regis is for Jesus, like going all in. When did the music start for you? When did you say, okay, now let me become a rapper and rap this thing for Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did that happen for you?
Yeah, and at some point, I think something's gonna come up in this story where it's gonna be like, because I'm just like starting to realize some things, like looking backwards. But I think for me, so there was a pivotal moment, 1999. I went to a youth retreat. So the church I started going to, so my mom put me in this church. We had a Victory Outreach church in Cincinnati. And I know a lot of them are out west. But we had, I think maybe my dad was in the rehab house at some point that our Victory Outreach church had. But they used to be on the radio. They would have advertisements. And so my mom put me in this church, not really knowing too much about the church other than she just had a good vibe about it. Unbeknownst to us, like the Pastor Ronnie Lott, who really he took me under his wing.
From the New York Jets? From the New York Jets?
Oh no, which later on I like Googling him, I'm like Ronnie Lott. And then this, I think he played for the Bears maybe or something. I'm like why does this Ronnie Lott NFL player keep coming up? Like I had no clue. Pastor Lott, he was a big Christian rap fan. Which is crazy because he was into like great. So that's where I got my Grape Tree introduction. So like he was bumping like DCP, Antonius, Prime Minister. And so he would dub me tapes. He would make me tapes of different stuff. And then that's when I lost it. Like I started.
Wow.
Christian pop head. And then we had a radio show on his local AM station that 1 hour a week on Saturday mornings. This guy named Exocial, who actually was a Christian rapper himself, but I didn't notice at the time. It was Exocial and another DJ. They would co-host this show. They would play Cross Movement, I Am That I Am. They playing, all these different artists. They would play Prime Minister. And that's when I really became a Christian rap fan. Like, so I would go to the Christian bookstores every week. Whatever tape came out, I bought it just on faith, like that it was going to be good. Like if the cover looked cool, I would get it, like, kind of deal. And then some stuff I hear on the radio. So like, but like, I wasn't really into like house of raps. Like that was a little too boom bap-ish for me at the time. Even though I did like I Am That I Am, I was coming off of Master P and Cash Money.
Yeah.
So Grape Tree was, because Grape Tree had a lot of different artists, but the particular artists that were popular at that time really spoke my language, especially Prime Minister. I was a really big fan of his.
Wow.
So I was listening to a lot of that so I got saved November 98. So like November, December, January, I was every week just listening to different artists. And then February, we went on this youth retreat for Victory Outreach. And it was in Pennsylvania, so it's like a 5-hour drive. Me and this guy named Brandon, we're just talking in the back seat, and somehow we learn about this talent show that is happening at the youth retreat. And so I love poetry. I always wrote poems, and actually I don't know why, like I was really good at poems. My teachers will always like give me like just extra encouragement with my writing, but I didn't really think much of it. And then my aunt Denise, she bought me this keyboard, and I used to always just play the preset. You could play like the little songs if you press a button, and I just will always listen to a couple different ones. Like didn't really think much of it though at the time. And then I got so I wrote, actually, I don't really tell this story much, but in the 7th grade, the only class that I passed other than study hall, which doesn't count, of course, is in health, right? And one of our assignments was to like, I don't remember what topic it was, but we were supposed to like come up with some creative project. And so I wrote a rap in health class. Never rapped a day in my life, mind you.
Wow.
Didn't think none of it. It was bad. It was horrible. It was only horrible because I didn't rehearse it. I just like did it last minute, you know.
Yeah.
So, but what's funny is I think all of that culminated somehow to where when we were on our way to this youth retreat, I'm like, yo, like maybe we could write a rap for this talent show. Like it's a bunch of church kids. Like basically, like I'm thinking like the talent level is gonna be low. We should be able to get first place in this thing because we're competing with Christians, and Christians, even though I knew like Christian rap wasn't corny, like because I like A1 Swift a lot, but like for some reason I just had this confidence like we're gonna win. And so my thought was, let's get the instrumental to Snoop Dogg's Woof song, because that song was really popular right before I got saved. I really like that beat. And so we used to, me and my friend Antoine, this was years before I started rapping, we would ride our bikes to Walmart and we would buy singles. So we love music. We would watch, you know, videos, BET, MTV, all that. But we would buy, like, I remember buying Hypnotized by Notorious B.I.G. on, and it had, I didn't really think nothing of it at the time, but it had like the clean version or the radio version, the explicit version, acapella, and it had instrumental version. And I just listened to it, like, oh, it's cool, you know, but I didn't listen to the instrumental version a whole lot. So that kind of came back to me like, hey, I think we can get Woof on CD, we can get the instrumental version, and then we can perform, write a little rap real quick, do that in a talent show. Didn't do it, but here's the crazy part. So like a revival happened one night, and the guy who was Holy Spirit was just moving through the place. Wow. And we're just crying out to God on our knees. I'm crying, I'm hands up. And as he's leading the prayer, I'll never forget this. He was like, pray that you don't return home the way you left home. And I was like, okay. Didn't think none of it. Just was like, cool. I'm gonna pray it because he said to pray it. Right after was the talent show. Right after this big revival service. Go to the talent show. This guy raps. I don't know his name. I wish I knew this guy. I hope one day I can shake this guy's hand. He starts rapping. Or no, he don't start rapping. The beat comes on. It's the Woof beat.
Oh, wow.
Of all the beats, and it's not like I mean, this song was popular, but it wasn't like rapping to like, you know, the #1 song on Billboard or something. Like, yeah. So all the beats he can rap to, he raps to this one. So of course, I'm hooked. I'm not like skeptical. I'm not like, man, what are you about to do to this? I'm like hype off the revival, just excited.
Yeah.
He does this song called Let's Ride. He's like, let's ride. And he's saying all these different things. And I'm just like, yo, this is dope. This is crazy. I'm just hyped. And then the next thought I had was, you're going to do what he's doing. And I know it was the Holy Spirit. And I was like, nah, because I didn't share this part because I skipped a lot of this. But like in kindergarten, I got held back. And like, I still would like to talk to my mom about a lot of this, but like they didn't feel like I was ready for the first grade for different reasons. Yeah. And I remember going to kindergarten, like I used to go to AM and PM, like my second year. I was like, I was kindergarten so long. I remember I'd be like in the morning, I'd be with the kids, like in traditional class, but then afternoon, I would work one-on-one with the teacher, and I remember like tying shoes specifically. And so like I was a really shy kid growing up, very reserved. Yeah. So when I heard the Holy Spirit say this, I'm like, nah, that's not like my first thought was, I'm cool on that. But for some reason I had this confidence, like, okay, let's do it. Like it was like really this duality once again of like I'm so scared, let's go. Like I can't explain it. I mean, I know it was the Lord. So as soon as we touched down in Cincinnati, like, I mean, you would think like maybe I'm tired from the retreat, I'm gonna go to sleep. Nah, I rode my bike down to Walmart got the woof instrumental, brought it back home, sat in my living room, which is crazy to think because now looking back, I'm like, I didn't do this in my bedroom. I did it for like everyone to hear, which I'm like, wow, that was really kind of bold. Like, because
yeah.
remember what you doing. But I remember my aunt had a CD player, and then my mom had this tape player, and I forget why I knew this, but like the tape player, you could, if you weren't recording the radio, if you just had it on like the tape mode, if you press record, it had a microphone in it, so it will just record whatever was in the atmosphere, in the air. So I was like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write this song. I wrote 3 verses, and I kind of wrote them similar to like, it was almost like Weird Al. Like I just rewrote what Snoop Dogg was doing, or what I think Fiend was on the song, and then I tried to do like my own version of Mystical. You know, Mystical is Mystical. Hard to be mystical, but I tried, you know. So I wrote 3 verses, wrote the hook. I played the instrumental from my aunt's stereo, and then I sat in the middle and I rapped those verses and recorded them on my mom's tape player. And that was my first song. It was called Don't Pass Us By. And after that, like I was like, yo, that was dope. Like I just wrote songs. I wasn't even trying to record them yet. And then my pastor, he saw that I had a note. I just really think he was dialed in the Holy Spirit. I think all of it was like my mom not knowing he was a Christian rap fan. Like that's just stuff you can't plan. I think the Lord gave him some insight that I was writing songs. I did not tell him I was writing songs. And he's like, yo, I'm about to do this retreat. I'm not retreat. I'm about to do this outreach. Because they used to go on a corner. They would set up a sound system. They would play music, and then they would preach the gospel on the corner, like in the hood. I would go, but I would just be a spectator. You know what I'm saying? But people would testify, and I always thought it was really cool. So they were like, "Yo, we're gonna do this big outreach at this school called Taft High School. It's a pretty popular school here, Cincinnati Public School." And he was like, "We're gonna bring preachers in the hood," and I'm like, "No way!" Like I wasn't a big fan of preachers in the hood, like not because I music. It just was, I just wasn't really hip to what they were doing.
Yeah.
But like, I was just hyped that they were signed to Great Tree. I was just like, you know, kind of just like, whoa, like these are big artists. Like, and like you want to open for them. And I was like, and again, one of the moments where I'm like, no, but yes. Like, I think my pastor realized I was writing rhymes because I had a notebook. I think that's I would catch at this point, I'm catching the city bus to church, which we had at a YMCA or YWCA actually. I would catch the bus to church because I was just on fire. I was either listening to whatever new music was out, or I was writing my own songs. No beat. I'm just writing it like kind of poetry style, but I'm imagining a beat. And then he asked me to open. I said yes. He gave me 45 minutes for my first set, which looking back is crazy.